Hey friends, so today we're going to make a really cute patriotic design piece using some Dollar Tree items. I'm starting out with this wood plank that I bought at the Dollar Tree, and I'm painting it just with acrylic paint, Folk Art Cobalt Blue, giving it a good layer. Give it a quick little dry, and then I'll get the edges and maybe a little touch up the top a little bit, give it a little bit better coverage in some spots. Now I'll just set that aside. And this is a Easter bunny wreath hanger. And so I'm just going to use a box knife and just cut that bunny off. And he's so cute, I'll use him for something else. But I'm just giving it a good little cut on this side, and then I'll turn it over and I'll do the other side too. And then it just kind of breaks right off. Just kind of using my ruler to make sure I draw a straight line. Not draw, cut. There we go. So I'm just sanding it and smoothing it out where I broke the bunny off. Now I have a whole bunch of fabric strips. I bought some red and white plaid or buffalo check, whatever you want to call it. And I cut them in long strips, probably about 3/4 of an inch wide, I think. And I'm putting them in groups of 3, so I'm just sticking it through the one hole of the wood piece and then pulling up the ends through. And I'm doing the same thing on every little strand. So I'm putting 3 red and then some white fabric, white strips. So in total, I will use 15 strips of the red and white plaid and then 12 of the white that you'll see here in a minute. And I didn't measure how long these hang down, but it's the whole length of, when you buy fabric, it's that, I think it's 45 inches, 44, something like that. So basically kind of in half. So they hang down probably 20 inches or so. And as you can see, it's just kind of easy. Just do one by one and just go clear across and scoot them over and squish them together till you can fit them all in. Here's the last one. I love that rag look. Okay, so I'm setting that aside, and I'm just going to sand my board a little bit, smooth it out, but also kind of rough up the edges just slightly. And if you don't like that look, just leave it plain, painted the way it was. I'm just grabbed a napkin and wiping off that blue dust, paint dust. Okay, setting that aside again. Now I'm going to paint these little stars. I got these in a package of, I want to say 6 at the Dollar Tree. Just using some acrylic white Folk Art paint and a makeup sponge. And I just put a dab on, and it ended up being enough for all 3 stars. Just giving it one good coat on each of them. Now use my heat tool again and give those a quick little dry. Now I'm using my sander, and I realized there's a lot of that blue paint dust on there, so I wiped it off. But I didn't get it all off, so as I'm sanding these little stars, I'm getting some of the blue specks on there just slightly. And I didn't mind. I kind of liked that look, so it worked out well. Just giving them all a light sanding, smoothing them out, and roughing up the edges a little bit. Next, I'm going to use a stencil that I got from the Dollar Tree. It's an alphabet letter stencil. And some chalk paint in the color Crimson by Waverly. And I've got this little stencil brush that I got at the Dollar Tree, and it's kind of falling apart, but it still works for something small like this. And so you get the smallest amount on your brush, and then that's even too much. And so then you need to dab it on paper towel or a piece of paper like I did. I've got parchment paper under my project. And then you dry brushing it, and you just do small circular motions until you fill in that whole letter. And as you can see, you probably realize now I'm doing USA, so USA on each of the 3 stars. And I think it looks so cute. And on this A, I got a little carried away, and I got a little bit of the red that went off the stencil onto the left side there, just slightly. And so you'll see me here in a minute just kind of try to sand it off a little bit and blend it in. Okay, so now I'm going to put them on my board, and I wanted the exact middle, so I measured it, and it was 11 inches across. So half of that is 5.5. So I made sure my S was right in the center of 5.5. So I'm holding with my finger the mark, and then another finger I was holding the star to make sure it didn't move while I put the glue on. Now the U and A I'm putting to the left and right, but just slightly above the S to fit it on there a little bit better. Just kind of eyeballing it to get it to look right. And now this is a fun part. So I'm taking my other piece, and I'm just going to glue it on the back there. So I'm just putting a good layer of hot glue all around those upper 2 wood bars and gluing it on the back there so the fabric will hang down at the bottom. And I know it's hard to see the whole thing in the video screen, but at the end you'll see the whole thing. Now I'm just going to put a jute twine hanger on the back. So I'm just measuring it, trying to decide how long I want it. And I'm moving off camera a little bit there, sorry about that. But I'm just gluing the one side on really well. And earlier, before I started this project, I had 2 sizes of beads. So I just put them in a Ziploc baggie with some white paint and some water, and just mixed them up and got them all painted, and then set them out to dry on a paper towel. Right there, I'm just putting some Scotch tape on the end of my jute cord so it will go through the bead holes easily enough. So I'm just going back and forth between the little bit bigger and the smaller beads. And I end up putting 8 on this side, and then making sure the middle is, where the middle is, and then I do another 8 on the other side. And then I glue that other piece down of cord. And now I just had some little pieces of fabric that I just thought I'd hot glue on over the top. It just adds a little bit more security and a good tight hold, and also looks a little more finished. And that is it for this project. I'm super happy with it, and I love how it turned out, and I hope it inspires you to make something similar. And I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you again soon for another project. Thank you.